guys, this is New Script on the Block, and we are doing another episode of Before the Scene. We are going to be reading a scene from Avengers Endgame, so spoilers ahead if you have not seen it already. This is definitely right. Yeah, this is definitely a pivotal scene, so skip this one if you haven't watched it, but also go watch it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, you need to.
You're a little
need to get on that shit.
Yeah, especially right now. You have plenty of time to sit at home, and watch this movie.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You're already at home.
Yeah,
just throw it on.
Watch it.
It's a good 2.5 hour, 3 hour.
Quick
movie.
note on Disney Plus. I'm so stoked that Frozen 2 is out on Disney Plus now.
You know they did that 3 months ahead of time because everyone was going to be stuck at home.
Oh, excited! I'm watching it as soon as
Are you watching it tomorrow or today?
I wish I could watch it tonight. I don't know.
If you watch it tonight, we can talk about it tomorrow.
It's true. Has everybody else already watched Frozen 2?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. Graham,
Watch
you
it
need to watch it tonight.
You need to watch it.
We're all three of us are going to watch it tonight. We're going to Skype each other.
Are we all just going to live text each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to.
Exact same time.
Let's start at the exact same time, and then we'll live text. Like, what the fuck is happening? Why is Elsa singing again?
Wait, pause.
Disney
I have
movie.
to go to the bathroom.
Graham, this was before your time, but there was a time at Arizona Studios when we used to all get together and watch movies and shit together.
Oh yeah.
But we really fell off on that the second you got here, so I apologize. You missed
It's
that
my
window.
fault.
Yeah.
The dynamic. Hey, so back to this thing. So who's who?
I want to
How
be
many
Thor.
characters are here?
I want to be Tony.
Okay. I'll be Steve Rogers. What?
Nothing.
I sound like Captain America.
Yeah.
I mean, he's my second pick. So
Oh yeah.
my first pick is Thor because
Tell me, what are they in order by?
by how much they look like Matt.
Oh, wow.
I think Thor looks like Matt.
Who's Gamora?
I will be Gamora.
I think you are blinded by
But
love.
why is Gamora?
That's very sweet. Oh, why is Gamora?
Why is Gamora? Who is Gamora?
So you'll be Nebula then? Ashley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's Nebula?
Wait, actually, I don't know if the
In the
scene even
movie?
goes. I don't think the scene goes. Did you just ask who's Nebula?
I've watched. This is the only Avengers movie that I've watched.
She's
since,
the blue chick.
She's Gamora's
The half robot.
sister.
The one from X-Men.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
The half robot.
Stop it right now.
I can't tell
We
if
will
you're
fight,
being serious.
Graham.
She was introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy. This is page 116.
Oh, yeah. If you guys want to go to the link, we'll provide it in the description of the video. So definitely go check out the script yourself. They were on page 116 in Avengers Endgame. Are we ready?
Dang, I wish it. All right.
Yeah, I'm a little thrown off on the context of this first line.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how it's supposed to be read.
Oh, but isn't that half of the fun?
And plus, it's like our interpretation, so we have to just kind of wing it.
This is.
Okay, go ahead.
I know what he's referring to.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't even know if the start of the scene is the start. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the first line of the scene we're reading is Steve's line, "Where are the others?"
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
the clip starts there.
Okay. Cool.
And you have the context because it says it in the description right above that.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
Who's gonna narrate?
I can read narration.
Okay. And Steve.
And Steve.
Okay.
Okay.
And he's doing Tony.
Uh-huh.
I'm Thor. You're Thanos.
Thanos and Nebula.
The girls
No, we're
won't
not.
come up.
We're not
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
get
that's
into
right, we're
that.
not doing that. Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Cool. Woozy, Steve follows Tony through the ruins of the lab. Where are the others?
I read life signs, maybe 800 feet down, but it's hard to tell.
They reach the edge of the crater where Thor looks down at Thanos, sitting on a rock, waiting.
What's he been doing?
Absolutely nothing.
That was so good.
I heard it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believed
Cool.
you.
Oh, man, should I be serious or not?
I don't know what Iron Man sounds like.
Like an asshole. Sound like a dick.
Yeah.
A
With
know-it-all.
a slight slur,
Because he's a little woozy. Okay.
The three of them stare a long moment. Then, as if sensing them, Thanos turns his head and looks their way. Son of a bitch. Should I say it again?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting I'm
Hey,
Steve.
let's
It's
start
because
at
his name should be Captain America.
the three of them. Start at that narration, the three of them again.
The three of them stare a long moment. Then, as if sensing them, Thanos turns his head and looks their way. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Where are the stones?
Somewhere under all of this. All I know is he doesn't have them.
So, we keep it that way. That lands. This is their chance.
You know it's a trap.
Tony deploys his armor.
Don't think I care.
Just so we're all in agreement.
Thor holds out his hand. Oh my god.
Mjolnir.
I can't say that word. Ashley's saying it for me. Flies into it. He holds out his other hand. Stormbreaker claps into his palm. Crack! Lightning strikes as he's covered in cape and armor.
Let's kill him properly this time.
Steve tightens his shield, leading them into the crater. Exterior Avengers compound crater day. We shouldn't be at work today. I'm not okay. I fell really hard. It hurt.
Do you want
Like
me
an old woman.
do you want me to? I don't have any more lines after this. Do you want me to do the narration?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Exterior Avengers compound crater day. Thanos sits on his rock, contemplative. How deep can you get?
Thanos is coughing. Oh God!
And he just blew up the compound, so there's like a lot of residue everywhere.
So dusty. You could not live with your own failure. And where did that bring you? Right back to me.
Tony approaches, wary as if sneaking up on a rabid dog. Steve and Thor fan out on either side.
I thought by eliminating half of life, the other half would thrive. But you've shown me that's impossible. Life clings to the past with bloody fingernails. As long as there are those who remember what was, there will be those unable to accept what can be. They will resist.
Yep, we're all kind of stubborn.
I'm thankful, because now I know what I must do.
Thanos reaches for his helmet.
I will shred this universe down to its last atom. And then, with the stones you've collected for me, create a new one, teeming with life that knows not what it has lost, but only what it has been given. A grateful universe.
Born out of blood. Thanos studies Steve as if seeing him for the first time.
They'll never know. No, wait. They'll never know it.
Thanos draws a blade off his back, towering over them.
Because you won't be alive to tell them.
Tony glances over at Steve. Ready? Steve nods.
Let's do this!
I'm just going to read the last little bit here. Just as Thor charges Thanos, wham! All three Avengers attack, using their skill in concert. Thanos stumbles on his heels. Oh, the heroes punish him, relentless. Pull up through the haze to the Sanctuary 2. It's really throwing me for a loop that so much of this is in caps.
Okay, so
I
now
know,
we can talk about that, if anything.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed a couple of those, too.
I'm not going to lie. I like watching this movie a lot more than I like reading it.
Or maybe we're just not, Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. or...
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, even just the writing style and technique. Like, we've been fortunate when we were reading these, Academy Award nominee scripts as a part of this new series or segment. Like, I really loved the other scripts we read, just in terms of reading material, like reading a book. Like, it's really fun the way that they're written and easy to read and enjoyable. And this just feels very different than those other scripts, right?
It feels very bare bones.
Yeah, they're just trying to make as much money as possible with the least amount of work.
Whoa!
Damn.
Okay, Grant. No, but I agree with you that I think this script almost relies entirely on everybody else's talent. You know what I mean? Like, it's more about the actor's performance and the direction and the CGI than it is about the writing.
Well, but then also, like, this was the last movie of a series of so many movies. These characters, the actors already know the characters like the back of their hand.
Yeah.
Like, they don't really need much more given to them for, like, except for dialogue.
We're just at a pivotal moment. Like, I would wonder, it might be harder to find the scene, like, just so we can compare it, but, like, the scene where they go back in time, Steve and Tony, into the army base to steal
They have
things.
that part.
They do?
Yeah, I mean, I could pull it.
Well, because it feels like there's going to be a lot more than this where they're just staring at each other.
We can cut and pull it up and check it out. I mean, you guys didn't have time this morning. I did say in the text, like, if you guys want to change it, go ahead, because I just wasn't confident if this would work.
Yeah.
But no one had time this morning. So, but yeah, we can pull that up if you want to. I mean, I'm just saying that the action description in here, like, I know it's very little physical action is happening, but it's just not like.
I gotcha.
It's
like both the action, the action description and the dialogue are both like at the same level of being bare.
Yeah. Exactly.
But we can just discuss what we see,
for sure.
If anything, like the parenthetical. No, the ellipses. The what you call it? The capitalized and then ellipses to Thanos. Like they reach the edge of the crater on page 116. They reach the edge of the crater and then that part is in lower caps, and then the rest is Thor looks down at Thanos is in all caps, and there's also a ... Thanos.
Yeah, I'm also like, so I'm used to all caps either being like camera direction, a prop, or something like we have to physically see. So I don't know if that's the writer saying like we have to see his face when he does this or something, or I'm not really clear on that.
Well, kind of knowing that moment, like that is like a big moment for Thor to be like, hey, there's Thanos right there.
This
like
fucker who ruined everything.
In the
or well,
scene,
then
like,
I
in the
ruined
visual
everything
scene.
because I didn't kill him properly the first time.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of use of ... dots, right? In this script, which I'm kind of like.
There's 3 on
weird.
this page alone.
Also, what is with the scenes that are underlined? Like, what does that mean?
You mean like somewhere under all of this? All I know is he doesn't have them.
Maybe that's just like. Yeah.
Well, it happens twice. It happens there, and then it happens again on page 118 in the action description. He underlines all 3 Avengers attack using their skill in concert, which is a phrase I've never heard used ever before.
Maybe?
I was gonna say like.
This is like
the action's really fucking happening now, guys.
I don't want to know what using their skills in concert actually entails, but they're doing it.
Well, but then what about the all I know is he doesn't have them?
Also, this really shows like they don't describe that action in that part at all. Like there's no specifics as to who does what or how.
They just can't because until they're like they do their previs and shit, they can't really write that action on a thing until they're like,
I mean,
this is what we can do. This is our choreography.
They could say like Captain America goes first, or
Well, they say they all attack like all at the same time.
Yeah.
So if that's that. Right?
Yeah, true. Okay.
But there's no, I don't know. Again, there's no choreography writing, which I'm pretty used to.
And some of these actions are, like some of these all caps like descriptions are those actions of Stormbreaker slaps into his palm. So I guess they really wanted to say, hey, that's gonna be a thing where it's an action of it coming in really hard.
Yeah.
Maybe it's also a cue for them. It's like, okay, CGI. That makes sense.
3D prop, real prop.
Yeah.
And again, the script disclaimer is available online. If you don't know which version it is, right?
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
You're disappointed?
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I like the movies a lot, but I'm interested to see how some of these other action movies are written. Like, does the writer just leave a lot of it to post? You know what I mean?
It's hard with these Avenger movies.
Yeah.
And what their script formats are like.
Well, and then from what has been said in interviews, like some people get different scripts.
Yeah.
Like Tom Holland, he got a different script because someone knew he would spoil something. But then even still, like, other people on the
Did
crew...
you guys watch that interview with, who's the guy who plays Hulk?
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
Okay, good. I'm like...
I was gonna wait. Like,
So, Mark Ruffalo, did you see that interview where he's like, yeah, everyone dies. And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
Like, the other... yeah, and then one of his castmates looks at him wide-eyed, and it's like, see... No one would believe him. They would assume he's joking, but because you reacted like that, you're the one spoiling it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I watch a lot of videos on Tom Holland spoiling movies.
Spoiling movies. He's a fun kid. I think it's good publicity. Like, I really, yeah.
Do you, think this is maybe what Martin Scorsese was saying? Because he has this whole thing against these movies, these Marvel movies.
He's like, it's not cinema.
True cinema and true storytelling. It's just,
I agree with
just
that.
fluff. You agree with it?
I don't like them. I think they're all just for money, and someone saw comic books and they're like, that is a money hole, and took advantage
Well,
of
once they proved it with Iron Man. Well, besides Iron Man.
I don't agree with that statement at all. Like, I think there are movies in that industry that are cash grabs, but I do think that there are a lot of, I'm biased because I'm a comic book fan, like, there are a lot of people out there that are fans of these characters and their universes and stories, and I know I've listened to interviews by filmmakers behind these projects that are comic book fans who were stoked to be a part of making something they love come to reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure that there's people that love it. I just still think that it's more of a cash grab than anything.
Well, aren't all major movies, in a sense? Like,
technically.
We're all doing it. It's a job. Like, at the end of the day, it's still someone's tool they use to make income.
Yeah, I think it's a job, but I just still think that, like, I don't know, for example, like Barry Jenkins' films, like when he made Moonlight, that wasn't for money. Like, obviously, money didn't hurt, but it's because he loves film and...
I don't agree with you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that those filmmakers love film, but I'm also saying, like, there are producers that back that because they knew that it was an opportunity to successfully do something that would do well in the Academy market and make money. Because all Academy films, they campaign. They're throwing money at getting people to say, yeah, this is a great film, so that they could get awards, so they could get more money. Like, it all circles back to money. It's a toxic environment. I'm just saying, that's
you're
just the
completely
truth.
right.
Like,
No,
all art circles back to money.
Yeah.
So, and I think that there are some artists that are in there that are a part of it, but don't think that they don't love their multi-million-dollar paycheck.
Yeah, I think everyone, like, I don't know. I don't think everyone's just in it for the art. Obviously, like, this is a business, and, like, it's always been a business, and it always will be a business. I just think this...
franchise, the MCU and how it's being handled and marketed is, like, they're able to rake a lot of money in, but that's just, like, is that what...
But tell me how else they should do it. Like, I get your point that, okay, we picked a type of storytelling where we could drag out the plot in multiple films so we can expand how many times we get the audience in seats and therefore how much ticket sales. I get that. But also, like, reading comics, like, how else would you do it? Like, if you try to consolidate literal decades worth of a character into one movie one time, it's not going to be great.
That's why you do a series. That's why Batman has been able to go on for so long, was because it's been nothing but, like, a lot of different, like, live-action series, tons of
but I think
animated
Marvel did
series.
a great job of, like, consolidating the stories just enough so that they work in a film franchise. But again, it has multiple pieces versus just being a one-and-done movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this, I don't think any of them could have been just a one-and-done movie. I think it's kind of what you were getting at, too, of, like, you can't have... That's how movies bomb. You put so much into the first one because... You're trying to create this world that no one's heard of yet, or that you're assuming no one knows about. So you're putting everything into it in the first movie, and then no one knows what's going on, so then they don't get a sequel to explain themselves.
Yeah, it's just like pilots, right? Like, pilots always suck because it's like you're trying to cram a lot of introduction and character development on the first episode so that people will hopefully like what they see and then watch the next one. But they're always terrible because you're just cramming so much information into a tiny piece.
Well, it's like,
so Marvel was smart, and they knew that they weren't going to try and cram all of it into one tiny piece. They were like, let's just focus on this one thing at a time, and we'll have plenty of movies. We'll have plenty of time.
That's like with The Golden Compass. When that first came out, that was like, yes, it's from a book franchise, or it's from a book series. So then they tried cramming in a bunch of stuff in the first movie because they thought, oh, well, we're just going to explain it in the second movie. But then they didn't get greenlit for the second movie. So then now...
Because we crammed too much shit in the first movie and it was trash.
But now, through the wonders of the internet and streaming and having a better way to tell longer stories like that through like a TV series, that's how they were able to do His Dark Materials. And that actually makes a lot more sense. I like the story now because of that.
Real talk, Graham. Did you like the Joker?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So that was cinema.
I think it was more cinema. To me, it was more cinematic. Okay. So,
Definitions.
I think
we need definitions.
I think people make movies for different reasons, and I think the Joker was more than just a superhero movie. It involved a lot of talk within the community about mental disorders and all of that. I feel like that was more of an art piece than something that is. I'm sure there's people in Avengers in the Marvel universe that love the comics and love making movies for the art, but I just feel.
No, I just want to focus on the Joker because we say we treat it like it's something special, but at the same time it's it still had to rely on that character's name just to get butts and seats. And then on top of that, despite it being a perfectly consolidated story that requires nothing else to be done to it, we know that they're still talking about the potential of a sequel. So
no, and I'm not excited for the sequel at all. I think it should have ended where it's at, but
look, I get you. Reading the script does make you... Or I will say this. I'm a big fan of the Marvel franchise, and reading this script, it does feel like there's no heart or soul in it. It's not written as if the writer is trying to make something special. It's written as if, they're going to do stuff with it.
But this is, I guess, in the context of grabbing just this section, right?
Yeah.
If I read those emotional beats beforehand, because everyone's hurting in the beginning of the movie, and then we get to this point, we're past the
we're gonna watch this scene together because this is a pivotal emotional
No,
sequence.
it is emotional, but we're past it in a way that we are there with them. Okay, here we go. So let's just let's confront Thanos. Here it is. Here's that moment. I would love to have read a section, maybe. I wonder what the spoiler. Oh, the freaking Soul Stone section where Hawkeye and Black Widow are there together.
Yeah.
I would love to know how that turned. That to me almost could be reminiscent to how the script in A Marriage Story played out, because we're talking about two characters and they're both arguing against each other. This one, they're all in agreement. It's there's Thanos, let's fuck him up, and so that's why I don't think this would compare to a scene where it's Black Widow and Hawkeye trying to kill each other, kill themselves in order to sacrifice for the other person, that argument. But that's where I stand on this section of script being so weak as it is, because it's just
it's very bare.
An introduction to, hey, this is the fight we've been waiting for, that the rest of the movie and the rest of the script was already trying to lead up to. Does that make sense?
I can see that.
Maybe
I get what you're saying, but I also feel moments of pause and moments of reaction are still capable of being well written. They're still capable of articulating, what words can we use to better describe the physical action in the scene of, them crossing out into this clearing, the way they're looking at him, the feeling they have when they turn to each other, like, that's all lacking. And don't get me wrong, like, again, I'm not saying give the actors, like, too much direction, but the way it's written, like, the words are, these are the bare minimum words I have to use to describe what's physically happening, and there's no, like, there's no feeling, I guess, to the verbiage.
Okay.
Versus, like, again, if you think of, like, when we read that marriage story scene, like, there is just a lot of dialogue back and forth, but there's the very little action, but when the action's happening, like, it is very emotionally motivated, and you can tell that by the way it's written, even though there's not a lot of action happening.
All right, do we want to watch the...
Yep. All right.
This podcast is brought to you by Arizona Studios. Arizona Studios, a full-service video content specialist. We're here to illuminate your message and compel your audience to take the right action. For more information, head to our website at arizonastudios.com and be sure to tune in for more content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Knowing, like, take it or leave it, like, it's not a requirement. It's just,
Well, wouldn't
this is what the pros say to do, and we debate whether or not it has legitimacy.
Isn't that kind of what we're doing though with this? Like, not necessarily like saying, "Oh, writers."
Well,
you
this
suck.
is the first one that we've read that we didn't, like, absolutely fucking love, right? I mean,
True.
like, I haven't seen Lighthouse. I already know it's probably not my jam, but the script was fucking wonderful. Like, I enjoyed
I was actually
reading
surprised you
it.
liked it.
It was
Even in
so
the script
good,
format.
and it's so well written, and it feels like reading poetry. Like, I haven't felt that in a long time because I don't read poetry.
What are these feels? Oh, crying.
But I don't, this is something I'm so emotionally invested in that I have years of my life into with characters I absolutely adore, and it just feels like there's no emotion or love in the writing.
Did you feel like their performance kind of mirrored that a little bit, or no?
No, I thought that they really bring that emotion. Like, they added so much tone that's missing when you're reading it. Like Thor's attitude and behavior in the scene, like this kind of blasé, like, fuck it, like, I don't care. Like, he's so gruff, and he's asking questions that he doesn't really even care what the answer is, right? Like, we get that context here in the scene that we don't get in the script. Which, again, like, you want to allow your actors to act, so I get not necessarily putting too much detail in, but I think, yeah, the script could have afforded to have, like, a little something just to capture encapsulate the emotion in the scene.
I think maybe there's a little bit that because we didn't catch the first part of this scene, like, in its entirety, I guess, even with a part of the script, that was maybe in there somewhere, and we're just...
What are you talking about?
Like,
the script that we read was that scene.
yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
But it's more of, like, right before. Like, maybe when the...
That's when they're escaping the rubble coming down on them.
Yeah.
And digging
so,
themselves
like,
out.
right when they're, like... when they get hit and all of that, like, once they start, like you said, like, coming out of the rubble and all of that, that could have been somewhere in that description. But we just didn't read it. Like,
Well, you don't have... Hold on, like, the context of the scene we just watched, right? Like, two of the guys come out. It's pretty obvious in the scene and the way it's set up that Thor has been sitting there, but the audience doesn't see that, right? Like, we don't see him sitting there for who knows how long just watching Thanos thinking about how upset he is, right? But you know that in the first few seconds of the scene when the guys walk in, that you could tell by his delivery, his tone, his position, his body language that he's just been sitting there staring at him for who knows how long.
well, like, okay, so at the beginning of this page, it says Tony says, "You lose this again, I'm keeping it."
That's not where we started.
I know,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm just furthering the context of the scene of, like, "You lose this again, I'm keeping it. What happened? Told you. We mess with time, time mess back. So before that, that's when they got hit. So then that could have been at the point where some sort of... Maybe I'm not voting.
I think I'm
this
lost.
right.
Hold
Yeah.
on. Maybe to work with that bit that you just read and what Alyssa's trying to say, when Tony says, you lose this again, I'm keeping it, we don't know what he's referring to, and is he giving him his shield back? If it was his shield, let's assume it's his shield.
Yeah.
Steve, after he says that dialogue, I'm keeping it, Steve does what? Steve should grab it, like in a way that shows a little bit of attitude. You know, he's like, he snatches it from Tony.
Well, or Tony slaps it into his chest.
Yeah,
Or,
exactly. Something like that. That can also invoke,
That's what's happening.
he's being, aggressive or passive aggressive or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, let's get serious.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But we don't know that because there's no little in between moments where Steve says like, "Son of a bitch," and then Tony, like, maybe what would be before Tony's line, yeah, where he's just like, yeah, like, he's here, maybe you could be like, Steve says, "Son of a bitch." Tony doesn't even look at Steve because he's staring at Thanos.
Yeah.
You can say something in that description where we get like a tone of what that how heavy that was in terms of delivery.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Does that?
We can describe, there could be the tool of describing more physical action that provides what the emotions are that are occurring in the scene, and there isn't.
I guess that's how I'd fix
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, the movie still came out great because there's, it's supported by good direction and acting in this scene, so it doesn't matter that the script doesn't have any of that direction, but it's like, again, the script would be a better read if it did have some of those little nuances of what they're physically doing in the scene. Yeah,
Unless they're just completely leaving that up to the actors to do.
Maybe.
which is, again, like, they're working with very talented people and they do a great job, so it's,
Yeah.
maybe that was a conscious decision, was, they'll figure it out. But
Yeah, like they know these characters well enough, they know what to do.
Well, and maybe because this is, like, one of a huge series, they're like, everyone who worked on this one worked on the last one. They pretty much get the idea. Like, I don't need to write it too detailed. Like,
Maybe that's the case.
Like, he's been playing this character for the past 10 years. I'm sure he knows what to do. Like,
Yeah.
which is fine. It's just, it makes it a less pleasant read for people who are just in it for the read.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many people just read scripts?
Good to know the movie.
Just nerds like us.
And then talk about them.
Going back to Graham's whole deal about the MCU
Please, yes.
and everything.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Let's open that up again.
Open up that
was
can
brought
of
back.
worms. Yeah.
Like the Russo brothers are the guys who did this movie, and they directed it. I feel like there's moments here that are like cinema, in lack of better words, but moments in the film where, the fight has started.
Yeah.
Then you get like super fan servicey, where, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, when all the females happen to be at the same place at the same time, that to me is what probably Graham doesn't like. It's like, oh, okay, here's a shot of all the female characters.
But fan service is there for the fans.
I know.
As a female viewer, that was the best part of the whole fucking movie. Right? Like, it means so much to a young girl.
It does, and it's fine.
Seeing
and the
that.
producers probably, or even directors and producers,
Like, it
are
doesn't matter.
Let's have this moment where
Yeah.
all the female characters show up, and it'll be
It
great.
doesn't matter what the intent was when they made it, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if it was like let's throw this in there because people like female power and that'll sell more tickets or whatever. I don't care why they did it. They did something and it meant something to a group of people that feel underrepresented, right?
Yeah.
So I don't fucking care if they did it to make money.
But wouldn't it have been better if they literally said #feminism?
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Yeah, I would have been okay with that.
Like on the
Calling
screen,
you out,
in that,
CW, DC shows.
That's why
I can't
said
remember
It.
which show did it.
Didn't you say Supergirl?
No, I think it was The Flash, actually.
Oh,
but
well,
it
one of
was
them.
definitely an episode that had Supergirl in it. But
Oh.
yes, and one of them they actually did that. Yes,
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
it was a trash moment.
But that's why I also kind of like don't hate on the Ghostbusters, the remake with all the all-female Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I don't hate it because I can't hate it because when I watched it and when I was leaving the theater, I saw a bunch of like little girls in costumes. Like, that was really great. I was like, well, that meant something for them, and I'm like, that's good. That's a good movie.
Like,
for
sure,
little
it
girls
smashed
to be
on my
like,
nostalgia for the originals, but
it's
that movie
nostalgia
sucked.
for a new generation.
These little kids are like, oh yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool that they got something to enjoy.
That's how my little cousin loved Pringles, because the one character started eating Pringles, and she's like, I want to try that. Ooh, these are actually pretty good. So,
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Pringles?
Yeah, the Kate McKinnon's character, she eats Pringles. And my little cousin's like, "Oh, I want to try those," and she loves them now. And she ended up being her as in Halloween.
Media has.
Just knowing that she hasn't had Pringles beforehand kind of boggles me a little bit.
Oh, well, you know.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's cool. That's fine.
No. It's just more of they're kind of picky. Sorry,
okay.
Dre, but they're picky, or at least they were. Not anymore.
Okay.
All right, aside the point.
Anyway.
I think that there's a lot of like critical acclaim chasing that's happening, and I think that those people are the people who look down on like major film franchises and say like that's not art. But it's like, but you're also doing the same thing. You're just doing it for something different. Like, you think that because you're chasing the Academy Awards and making content that's Academy friendly, like you're doing something better, but you're just in it for, like, again, being praised by other people for doing something special that only a select group of people think is something special. Like, I don't know.
Oh, man, there was a quote by Shia LaBeouf about art.
This really got us in the tizzle.
Yeah.
This section.
Well, look, it's all subjective, right? Art is in general anyway.
You know,
so
I'm stupid.
Everyone has a right to their opinion. We're all stupid, yeah.
In my opinion, I don't think whatever.
Everyone has the right to their own opinion. I'm just saying, I think that nowadays, like, everyone in Hollywood is in it for something. Like, and it's not. I don't think anyone's in it for just art. Because I think that's what money does to you.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of people, like you were saying, the animators and the grips and gaffs and, like, all those people, like, they're not in it for the money. I mean, some of them might want to make it to the top and
get somewhere,
get money, but most of those people love art, you know?
Yeah.
It's the people at the top.
I found it.
Okay.
Anything that moves you is art. So, if it doesn't move you in a certain way, then you don't think it's art.
In that
but
case,
to us, you know.
Avengers Endgame is art. My definition. By that definition.
Okay. Sounds
Because
good.
it moved me.
What if it moves you in a negative way?
Oh, that's a good question. I like watching Boondock Saints. I was pretty fucking mad. Like, I haven't been that mad at a movie in a long time.
I wish I was there. I wanted to experience
You should have
that.
seen me flip out. It just about tore apart my relationship.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Like,
wow.
you remember that we were talking about in Marriage Story when people get, like, physical mad and, like, they do weird shit? Yeah, it was one of those times.
What scene really got you?
The whole thing.
The whole thing?
The whole thing is
There was
so
no, like, you know, where you, like, hold your temper, but then there's this one thing that happened and then it released. What released it? What opened the door?
Yeah, like, what first made me think, like, well, I'm not going to like this. I did that with Venom, right? Like, I was sitting in the theater, and at first I'm like, okay, it'll get better.
You saw it in theaters?
I saw Venom in theaters.
Regrets.
Wow.
But I sat there, I'm like, it'll get better. It'll get better. It was probably a good 10 minutes in when I was like, I'm not going to like this movie.
So it took you 10 minutes.
It took me about 10 minutes to realize, like,
yeah, but
I
that was
don't
for
think
Venom.
this is going to get better. Like, I don't think I'm going to like this movie.
If I were to say where it ruined me, for Venom, I didn't like Venom.
Oh, okay.
No,
I thought Venom was trash.
But
They're
it's
like
Tom Hardy.
Tiny golden moments.
Yeah, I love Tom Hardy. That's the problem.
Tiny golden moments. Just tiny bits.
I think that's what you get extra, and I could be alone on this, but you know how you get extra irritated when it's something you want to like because of certain parts of it?
Yes.
But it's because you don't like it, that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Like, Venom was like that. Like, it's like, but I love Tom Hardy, and Venom is a badass character. And I've always liked the character in the animated shows and the comics, so I surely would like the movie. But I hated it, and that made me hate it more, because I'm like, what have you done to these things I love?
Look
Like,
how you massacred my boy.
yeah, like you took things I cared about and you ruined them. Yeah. And that's the same with Boondock Saints. Like, I watched it, and it's just like, I like these actors. I like the concept of the characters or parts of the characters.
Vigilantes? Just that part of it?
No,
That
I mean,
concept?
like the cop character, right? Like, I liked that he was just eccentric and that but I didn't feel it was again, accomplished. But I liked the idea.
Okay.
And the same with, I mean, I liked a lot of the ideas. I just felt it was poorly accomplished. And again, like, I highly blame a lot of it on the editing technique, but I also think there were some directorial downfalls. But, yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, this is like an Avengers / Boondocks.
Boondock Saints.
Like, everything's going to have, like, a little bit of Boondocks sprinkled
Controversy
in.
of
Right.
like there was a little bit of a controversy.
But
in
the
there.
point of that was just, is it art if it makes you angry?
Yeah.
But I think there's also good kind of anger, right? Like, this was intended to make, like, this character or environment was intended to make me angry. I'm not supposed to like them. It's intentional. Like, I didn't like American Psycho. I'll say that up front. But I also think that you're supposed to hate the character, and that's intentional. So they accomplished what they wanted. But I also hated it so much that it made me hate the entire movie, and I didn't understand the purpose of the movie.
Like how Ryan feels about Ponyhead in Star.
Yeah, Star versus the Forces of Evil. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like, you hate a character so much you can't bear to watch whatever it is that they're in.
Yeah. The boys.
Oh my
For me,
god,
there's a
yeah,
character
the
in there you
boys.
don't
Like, it moved me to anger.
Yeah.
Like, I love that series. I'm praising it for what it's done and accomplished.
Yeah.
But I cannot rewatch.
Yeah, I
season
don't think
1.
I could rewatch it either.
I don't think I can if season 2 is about to come out, but it's gonna take me a little bit to ease
Get there.
myself into, like,
Yeah.
the only way I can continue watching season 2 of The Boys is all of them died, and then we're now starting afresh.
Who was the problem for you?
I want
Was it Homelander?
Homelander. I want the Butcher. I want him and his. This is a spoiler. I won't say it. I want anyone involved with the Butcher to die.
Oh wow.
So that's like all the characters.
Yeah.
So,
That's like all the characters. Okay, Graham,
That's
what
true.
was a piece of media that like made you anger stop?
That wasn't.
but it's good.
That wasn't the
Yeah.
Avengers.
Yeah, it wasn't the
Well,
Avengers.
but in the same vein of it's a good thing. Like, it's
It's
The Boys is
intentionally
good,
making you angry.
but it made you angry that you.
But it was
it's hard
so
to
angry you
watch.
can't handle it.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Spoilers for Walking Dead.
Where are you at?
Yeah, well, I'm about to get to that. So spoilers for Walking Dead. I started watching Walking Dead because I'm trying to get into it, but Beth just died, and she died
Oh,
a violent, inexcusable death that was totally uncalled for and not anticipated at all. And when it happens, it's like I had a physical reaction, right?
Whoa.
Like, I definitely was jumping up and down screaming. I was so mad.
Like what's her name in Marriage Story?
Yep, exactly like that, except on a bed. Anyway, I was jumping up and down on the bed, screaming. And I literally, it's been several weeks, and I haven't been able to start watching the show again because I'm still I feel so betrayed by the people who wrote it that I don't trust them anymore, and I can't watch their show.
Ooh.
Even though I like it.
hey,
What season
I'm
is
sorry to say it's gonna be like that
For a while.
Because Beth was a strong ass character, and they developed her even stronger.
Her death
during
was
that
so
capture.
It was disrespectful.
Yeah.
You disrespected Beth.
Yeah, she just died for no reason.
Yeah.
Basically. Sorry, whatever.
And I know it's intentional. I know they wrote it that way on purpose, and I get that this is the world that they live in, and I know it's good writing, but I can't forgive it.
You know Django Unchained? Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Whoa, really? Wow. Have you seen it?
I liked Django,
You know
and I'm
when-
actually not a
you
big
know-
Tarantino
You know
fan.
when what's his face? Dr. Schultz? Like the German dude.
I've only watched Django once,
Okay.
back when it came out. But
Do you remember?
Yes.
You know how
Django the
you know
West?
how he died? Where he shot Candy,
Oh yeah.
and then he's like, sorry, I couldn't resist it.
Yeah.
You know? And then he dies.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens
To
with Beth.
It's
Oh,
like
fuck.
you don't see it coming, then out of nowhere there's a hole in her head.
Ah.
And you're like,
It's like,
Oh, boy.
just because she was proud,
Yeah.
there's a moment of pride that's like,
but it passes in an instant.
because someone has a gun.
Got
Anyway,
it.
cool. Should we
Okay.
end this episode?
Yes, we can. I just want to say,
Okay.
I thought you said Django and, Jane. Django and Jane. I was like, what the fuck is Django?
sorry.
and Jane? Unchained.
Django
Unchained.
Unchained.
Okay, yes.
My bad.
No, it's okay. And then you said Quentin Tarantino. I was like, oh shit. I think he meant Django Unchained. So I misheard you.
Okay.
Anyways.
So
you
then,
seen
have
it.
you seen
Yes,
it?
I have.
Okay. Got it.
All right. Cool.
My goodness,
This episode got everywhere,
this
man.
went all sorts of places.
We're really sorry, guys.
How are we? Whoever.
Hey,
edits
enjoy this one, Dewey.
Yeah.
We like that you listen to our podcast. Thank you. Keep listening.
Yes.
Thank you to the 3 people that listen to us.
Listen every
Next time you see me, you'll know why I'm angry.
Who introed? Was it me?
Alyssa.
Or was it Alyssa?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was Alyssa.
Bye, guys. You'll hear us next time on New Script on the Block. Like us on Facebook and
Oh my
follow us
gosh.
on Twitter and Instagram at Arizona Studios.
Before the scene.
This was before the scene.
Yeah, before the scene.
Okay.
Are we all gonna like whisper?
What if we did the next episode
Just like this the whole time.
Whispering? What is the next episode though?
If we weren't at risk of giving each other illnesses before.
You know,
Oh,
hey,
this
I
damn
decided
fucking
that
virus.
if any of us was infected, we all are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah,
are the
by-
Walking
By
Dead.
yeah, I know. By this time, I think we would be. We
That
share.
was a good moment. I like that moment. I feel like that.